Okay. Yeah. So like when we hit this here, the level, or just slightly missed it, your range was like this. So like you had this nice continuation of ranges happening. There was really nothing to worry about, to be honest. Like the range was there, was moving up, and that's part of the reason why I was trying to get into some longs, in our last session. But when you broke this 15 minute and you straight dove to the next 15 minute, all of a sudden you expanded your range down to here. So now with this, you have the daily trend right here, right? Like if you go look, you have a daily trend created off of that. So like a few things happened with that range expanding. It created your trend. So like we created all the events that we needed in order to now start looking at what has to happen next. So prior to yesterday, we didn't have any trend work. Like we didn't have anything. I would have rather seen, if you're talking about you want to be in a long-term position here, you wouldn't, like, you rewind back to yesterday. So just take it back to here, right? You go here. You don't want to see a trend that's created this aggressively. Like that's pretty alarming that a trend can get created that aggressively. Maybe if you keep moving up and you can create a trend out here like this, and you kind of move down, and then you test something in here, and that's fine. At least it gives you some room to like move up a couple, like a week or two. um so yeah, if you kind of come here and test that, and then this is where your trend is, at least when you're moving up and on daily candles, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Like you could possibly have something like 8 daily candles here in order to create this. But when we went down and tested that 15 right here, the perfect test on that 15, we really put this thing on a clock. So like this thing's either going to start to rapidly move up or rapidly move down, and now this part of that range is exposed. So you've done two things here. Like I said before, the first part of it is, oopsies, not that one, get this guy here. The first part of this is, instead of having a range here and maybe a backside range, like something like, I don't know, possibly one of these levels here. I don't know, maybe there's an origin here or something, whatever it is. If you had tested this, at least that range is protected and you have like more room for your trend. But the second you expanded that range to such a low level, um, even though you recovered throughout the day, like if you look at this chart, there's not a lot of time. Like you kind of almost have to move straight up right now, or you're starting to create a cycle trend to move down. So that's going to be super important here, is this cycle trend. So this is going to be what we need to pay attention to in the coming days, is this cycle trend and where it creates and how it gets created. Yeah, it's going to be pretty important. Like we don't have any weekly information here. So, if you just, forget all this noise, let's just start deleting some of these levels. Like we don't need any of this stuff. So we can actually just clean up our chart a bit here. Good exercise to go through anyways. This is all just previous range stuff. You could delete all that. When it starts dumping, you're going to have to redo all this analysis anyways, right? So like you take all of this stuff off here, like get it all off your chart. Maybe that one we can leave because it's just like the critical polarity. We can leave a couple of those. That, let's go and delete a lot of this stuff. We don't need these. We can keep that weekly here. That daily is fine. That daily is fine. One of those 4 hours is fine. We don't need both. And so all of this other stuff that we're using here, we don't need any of that. We need that one. If your weekly trend here, right? So 4 hour here, that's already hit a daily. Oh, this is 4 hours there, which is tested. That hourly we don't need. We don't need most of these backsides, we don't need as well. So like we won't need this one. We won't need that one. This one, we have the 4 hour there tested perfectly. We won't need that 4 hour trend. You'll need this daily. You'll need that combo. You'll need this daily is not in existence. Is it? Yes, it is. It's from there to there. Okay, that's fine. And that's fine. So like that's what you have. So, and you don't need that. You don't need this one. And really don't need, well, those we can keep. That's fine. That weekly we can keep. Um, that 15 we don't need. That we don't need. They're just levels I had just previously marked. And these 4 hours don't need this one. That one tested perfectly. Okay, so maybe as a reverse target, we're going to keep that one. Actually, we're going to keep this just as a reverse. Um, honestly, at that point, I don't think you reverse this. Tested, tested, be something like this. Tested anyways. This is the only reverse you need. Tested. Yeah. So reverse 15. Yeah. So getting back to it here, like the problem you've created is that, now you're going to be going for a weekly level. Like, remember a couple days ago, I was saying, like, in order to break this, you need to, like, it's just kind of the writing is becoming a little bit on the wall right now, because you need to close this in order to start moving up long term. And we're on Wednesday right now, so we have 4 more days. But if you look at the trend work that was created, we don't have 4 days. We really don't have 4 days. We have 1, 2, by day 3, if we don't start moving up by day 3, because day 2 is going to be here, right? Day 3 is going to be here. If we don't start moving up, you might see a massive dump happen that gets you below this before the weekly hard close. So that's like a real concern right now. And with this trend being created, it's starting to look like that's what's going to happen. So I think right now my plan in trading would be, the longer it stays up in these levels, and like you can obviously see some stuff right here, like obviously you've got this backside and it broke over and et cetera, and you can go and do some TA, and we'll do that. But you can see right now that, like, the longer it doesn't move up, so you have almost like a time bomb on this trade. Like, if you just keep moving sideways, you are going to dump this move. You pretty much have to start moving up. So when you start seeing things like this on a 4-hour created, well, where's the 4-hour target on the bottom, right? So like, let's start looking at that 4-hour here. Looks like the 4-hour was already hit. So that was kind of like a perfect trade, like 4-hour to 4-hour. You got under that 4-hour was created. So you're in a Pandora's box right now, right? Like, it's just straight up what it is. So now let's start doing the work to see what else we could have. So you have now also this. So you need to break over an origin as well now too. So like, let's think about that as all the potential roadblocks that could be in the way. You've got an origin. As soon as this 4-hour closes, which is happening in 1 hour and 32 minutes. So like, now you've got 1 hour and 32 minutes before you have to start moving up. If you start moving up in the next 1 hour and 32 minutes, yeah, I think it might make sense to take along here, but you've got an origin there that you have to get over. You've got this break level down here. This break is starting to become very close to trend. So like, yeah, go after the break, come back up. This might be a good spot to try to take along. I don't know if down in here, if this makes sense. I don't know if you'll necessarily get down there. I think hitting this level here would mean that you're just still moving up. Obviously, you're hitting this level, you're holding trend, right? You go down, you hit it, you hit it, you go back up over top and hold trend. Like, that's obviously you're moving up, right? You start to get to some of these lower levels, it's going to be really, like, you're going to have to climb like crazy, and then likely this is just going to be adapted. This reach point's going to be adapted to right here, already starting to cycle, right? So like, there's a lot to consider right now, and I like, it really looks like it's going to dump down, but I guess we're going to see as the day unfolds, and we're going to keep doing our TA. But this is how I would be looking at the charts right now. So you've got, actually, oh, this is perfect. It was actually just hit on the hourly as well as the 4. So you got a 4-hour, you've got an hourly. Yeah, that 4 hours hit down there. That's there. What else do we have? So like, if this is a 4-hour, we'd be looking for possibly a 15-minute to now reject it. So possibly this 15-minute break, which could turn into an hourly. That's a little bit of a stretch to say that this 15 minutes should almost instantly turn into an hourly. Go down, hit the 4, hit this 4. Like, this is a lot of very quick movement. Like, and what's the range on this? 1.5%. Yeah. So like, really, honestly, right now, and then you've got this up here too. So not only you have this origin, but you've got this hourly break up here too. And there's no hourly levels right now. Like, there's no hourly levels. Rejection as a target almost already breaks up over top of that. So you can't really use rejection as a target here, because it already kind of actually breaks the 4. You hit the 4 and then you laddered off the hourly. So like, at least you have something showing you that this hourly has been hit. So now you're really just looking for the 15, right? Like, rejection is target. Now you're looking for the 15. There is not even a 15-minute. Like, is there a 5-minute origin somewhere? Like, God, I hate to say, like, reversing this backside right here is the play, but like, I don't. Let's just look for a 5-minute instead. 5-minute origin of some type here. This is going to be a deep dive. So actually, you break your ladder. So that's not here. Reverse this as a 5. Like, this is about all you can do, but like, You haven't even hit a 15 yet. So like you've got the hourly. What about hourly on the bottom side here? What do we have for the hourly on the bottom? So you have the 4 here. Go back to the trail of events. You hit your 4, so it has to happen post this. So we need to find an hourly around here. I mean, technically it's hit, but I don't like it. I don't like it. I think you're just going to start to move down actually, but we're going to see. But this is how I'd be looking at this. I would be looking for a short right now. I would 100% be looking for a short. Now, although it's intuitive that it looks like it's moving up, the setup is there to move it down. And there's relatively safe spots to get in. The only problem is we've just walked into the session and just missed like very good targets. And now I don't really like I don't really know where a smart target would be. You don't even really have an hourly here. So like maybe this as a reverse is a good long. At least it equalizes the playing field. And this has to hold, right? Like reverse this 4 into this. That's about all you have for longs. So there's a reason to take this long here, because if this long succeeds and breaks this stuff, you're gonna rip. Like this is the point where I think Bitcoin is gonna start ripping. It's got to create space from that trend. So if you hit this, you know, I think you can start ripping up to like the 77K mark, 76 and a half, 77K. Like you're gonna have like a pretty nasty move up, like 77.2 maybe, something like that. And I'm like, what is your percentage here? So this is where like it doesn't make sense to take the risk. Yeah, it's a great trade. I'd have to engineer like a bit of a cleaner target, but yeah, it'll be around there. I don't really know if you have any spots to get into shorts here. Right here, it's the only spot you have. Potential backside right here. It's literally the same as this. This is it. This is all you have. This is all you have to work with to get in on this trade. So like if you're taking a short, this is it. I don't see a spot for anything else if you're going to move down. You know, backside 1 minute is holding. That's kind of not good. Yeah, there's just nothing there. There's nothing there. Backside 1 minute holding. So like you're either taking this 1 minute here. I would just take this 15. I would just take this 15 and that would be where my short is, right here. And then it's pretty simple to get out of this trade. Like yeah, like once, and then like that's the thing. Like you just take this 15 here. Yep. So you take that 15 there and then let it dump the move. Hopefully, that's where my trade would be. I don't think this 1 minute stuff here. I don't think it makes sense. Like this, you can pull the move back. I'm not taking a trade there. That doesn't matter to me. I'm taking the 15. I'm taking what makes sense to dump the move, not what could hold it down on a latter point. I'm taking what makes sense to hold the move down. And then you can see like if this 15 doesn't pull it back, you get out, because all you have after that 15 is just this. I'm sure you have some like stuff from here and maybe even like are there any 5 minute levels? That's something we should check. No, there wasn't. I already checked that. And this 5 is already hit. That 5's hit. That 4, it breaks the hourly. Is there any like 3 minute OGs, origins? Not really. No, not really. Like only other thing you have is maybe it can test that, but I wouldn't put money on it. Kind of just breaking the move at that point. Hourly is rejection, which is already hit. 15 minute, which is here. That's all I would take. I would set up a short here and that's it. I want to see it break this move. And I would also set up a long here. However, if I was in a short, I wouldn't exit here. I would not exit this here. No way. And what I also want to check right now is this 1 minute right here. Does this interact with any kind of... You actually have an hourly right here, which is a 4 hour now. Did that ever get hit? So it went hourly. That's fine. This is invalid. Hourly. Yeah, and that creates a move. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Though that would be my plays. This one's actually quite straightforward. If I'm in a short, I'm not exiting here because I want to see it collapse. If I'm not in any position, I am taking a long there though. So if I can't get in on this current part of the move right now, if I can't get in on a short here, it's a 1%, and then I'm using this hourly. to trigger this trade out here. So like this 15-minute is my trigger. If this 15-minute holds my hourly long, I'm out. If the 15-minute hits and the hourly, like, so that's that side. Like if you enter here and then you exit here. Well, no, actually, sorry, I should repeat that or rephrase that. You enter here and you see if this holds, and if this holds, you exit here, right? Or right now you're really hoping that you can get into a short here. Like your preferred trade is entering on this 15-minute due to how we engineered the logic, and then letting this hourly hit and seeing what it can create to hold. And then so it's going to create some kind of like little whatever internal valley, or it's going to have, you know, either like that, and when it breaks above that, then you get out, or it's going to create something like this where it goes and then it moves up straight away and, you know, maybe has a little hold level here. And then, you know, if you start to go down and you start laddering above that hold level, or if you go and hit that hold level and hold it, you know, any of these scenarios, you know, you break that trend, you get out of the trade. So like the preferred trade right now is to get in here in hopes that this dumps and onsets the move down. And then maybe you hit trend, but I don't know. I think you actually just dump the move at that point, but you might hit trend. But that's my number one trade. Number two is if we can't get the option to get in here, I'm taking this. And then, you know, if it bleeds through, like obviously you get out. If it goes up and this holds it, and then, you know, same thing, you're going to create some kind of little thing here and it hits a break move, and then, you know, has a hold level here, and then has a trend, and you start breaking this stuff here, you know, you start hard closing this here. That's where you get out. So like we have some pretty easy trades today, actually, some pretty straightforward ones. I'm just hoping this 15-minute can get hit. And I also want to see what's hitting in here. Like that's the next thing I want to do, is I just want to see like what levels in here are hitting and holding this move, or like what's happening, right? So you got a 3-minute here. 3-minute looks like it's holding. So you're going to mark that because we just want that intel, right? Like we just want some of that intelligence on this trade to just see like, okay, well, is there anything we're missing, right? Is it a 5-minute? It's also a 5-minute. So you got a 3-minute, a 5-minute. So you're just going to mark both just so you have that knowledge of what potentially offset the move when you do go up, because it's also important to know what offsets moves when you go up, all the same as it is, you know, on the other side. So, you know, your 15-minute, does that hit there? Did that just hit? That just spiked the 15. So this actually just hit the 15 rejectionist target. That's actually surprising, because this hits that makes me wonder if this is a 4-hour it's hitting or if it's an hourly. I want to go back and take a look again. So it is a 4-hour. We can confirm that. But it is also an hourly. But the problem is it hits the hourly first. It had an hourly, it hit here, then goes for the 4. Now you'd want to see it go for the 1. I don't think this is holding this 15. No, I don't think this is going to hold the move. I think that's a fallacy. If it holds, I'd be surprised, just because there's no hourly. And so like this is a really cool thing, because if it's holding, I would assume it's holding a higher target, not this 15. Not this 15. Oh, no, not at all. I don't think so. And so that's kind of cool, because now we can actually just take that off the chart and just completely disregard it. So, you know, it doesn't make sense that a 15 is there if an hourly's not hit. It just disconnects the levels. And then, yeah, it just doesn't make sense. So for this reason, I do think you're just going to lose a level here. But, you know, hopefully you just go here and test this and dump down. Like really my first objective here is to get in on a short rate here. I don't have any other objectives. Like if get in there and see what happens. And I'm hoping that pans out. And, you know, you're at an all-time high right now. So engineering what you can based on the criteria is all that you can do. And then when you're looking at this, you have to take your highest level information, of course, which is your daily. And that kind of almost as a master level. Trends are levels, levels are trends. As a master level, that's showing you like, here's what's controlling the chart right now. So the master level here, the controller, master level controller, whichever one you want to call it, that's what this is, right? And then so we've just built down from there, and you know, we have a pretty easy time seeing what we really need to target.